My deeply held feminist values and my lifestyle choices can't coexist or feel confusing? I beg to differ. Honestly, how can I proclaim that I'm a feminist supporting the rights of women to do, say, and behave as they please without also believing wholeheartedly that it is also okay for my naked body to be viewed online on my OnlyFans profile? So here she is. She's claiming big and bold she's a feminist, and she supports the rights of women to do, say, and behave as they please. The only part that's missing from this is that she should have said, and without accountability. Because modern women today think that they can do, say, and behave as they please without any accountability. So that part she really should have put that part in. So she believes all those things and that it's okay for her to put her naked body to be viewed online on her OnlyFans profile. She goes on to say feminism is about women's rights to choose, to be equal, and to have autonomy over how they use and show their bodies, among other things. And what more perfect an example of this than a woman who loves herself and respects herself enough to be paid for that very expression? So she loves herself so much and she respects herself so much enough for her to be paid to show herself online, show her naked body online, and to show that expression of who she is. So, this is feminism. This is the modern feminism that encourages and what's the word? Indoctrinate modern women into believing that that they can do, say, do whatever they want without accountability, and that they can show their bodies however, because after all, it's their body, their choice, right? So she goes on and talks about all the things why, you know, she's doing this. So then in the end, she says, so what has OnlyFans got to do with feminism? Some of you might believe that making my photos available on OnlyFans for people to subscribe to and view is a modern form of prostitution. You think? What a sellout, you may think. You're just pandering to men's desires to objectify women's bodies. Or what on earth does your partner think? To anyone who thinks or say things like this, and trust me, they do, I'll say you're wrong. For years, decades, centuries, even men have seen women's bodies as freely available commodities that they have the power and right to use, explore, and view on a whim. It is an ingrained belief system that shows up in the behaviors of men across cultures and demographics. It's behaviors that men are solely conditioned to accept from and even encourage of among other men. And while the tide is certainly turning slowly, internet dating, for all the joys it brings, can often only exasperate the problem. How many men have paid for your meal or entertainment, then expected sex in return? There is still some entitlements felt by men over women's bodies. As a survivor of sexual abuse and assault by men, I experienced this firsthand. And she goes on to say, I'm a whole woman, so I've reclaimed my body, my whole self, my childhood, love of self-expression through the art of photography and the beauty of a woman's body, my body. If people want to enjoy that, they can invest. They can invest their time and money just like I've invested mine to create the images to begin with. You may or may not agree with this, of course. That's okay. How I choose to show up in the reclamation of my body, my sensuality, my sexuality, and my experience of how I choose to share my energy and my joy is mine and mine alone. And that includes my OnlyFans profile. Wow, wow, wow. Here she's talking about all the men who has viewed women's bodies at their whim, who feel like they have, um, the right to look at a woman's body whenever and however. So on one hand, she's complaining that she's saying really that it's men's fault because men are the ones who continue to want to see women half naked and naked and showing their body fully on in full frontal arenas for men to see. So it's men's fault. But yet, she's over here doing the same thing that she's complaining that the men want. Help me to understand this. Please help me to understand the madness because how can you talk out of the both sides of your mouth? Like I don't understand it. It's just crazy to me. Do you think this woman is sane? That she's complaining that it's a man's fault or a men's fault because for centuries, for years, men have viewed women's bodies that they felt entitled. But yet, if women stop sharing and stop giving of themselves and displaying their